Howdy, gang, and welcome to October. Woo! My favorite month of the year. Even though technically I was born in February, I consider myself to be an October baby because Halloween. All right, and even though I'm not really an orange person per se, that's not really my color because my coloring. I am going with something orange. It's technically coral, but it looks orange. Close enough. So for this pattern, this is a whole lot of fun. Do not overthink it. It is literally just like any other pattern that I do where it is as simple as it looks, and I'm going to break it down so that everybody understands it, whether you just have the written paper here or you're watching the video with me here. So for this one, I'm just using my standard Nifty Knitter. I think this is the 31 peg. I'm only using 20 of the pegs for this particular one, and this is very similar in the sense like my broken ridge from last month or this month, from September, where it's very versatile. You can do it flat panel, you could do it in the round, you can use it for a hat, a scarf, a shawl, a cowl, a blanket, whatever you want to use it for. And that is what I'm trying to accomplish, because I want to give you guys options to do more than just a hat or more than just a scarf. So I'm trying to do where one of the patterns is very interchangeable and can be done a lot of ways. So this could be done either flat panel like I'm doing it here, but it's going to be connected into a cowl like my broken ridge, or you can do it in the round. This is done over 3. So if you're doing it flat panel like I am, you're going to do multiples of 3 plus 2, which is for each edge peg. That's why this particular one I'm doing right here is over 20 pegs. So 18 is divisible by 3 6 times, and then 2 pegs, 1 for each end. But if you do this in the round, just make sure you have multiples of 3. That way you don't have any problems. Okay, so whether you're using this written or you're watching the video, the visuals on here as well as what I'm going to show you are super easy. I have my abbreviations here and also down here, and it's just 2 rows. Now row 1 is already done on here. I'm going to show you basically row 2 and then go back and do row 1. And it's just, so 3 on here, you can see here and here, means you're going to wrap that peg 3 times. Then you're going to knit 2 together, and then on row 2, we're working from left to right. You will have 2 pegs, and then you're going to unwrap this one that was 3, move that over almost like a drop stitch, move that loop over, it'll cover 5 and 6, and then you're just going to repeat from there. So watch the video and you'll understand how simple this is, just as you see it on here. So for this particular one, I'm going back to Old Reliable. When I first started looming about almost 6 years ago, Charisma was my go-to because, we all started out with the big gauge looms. Not only that, but it's super soft, really comfy, nice and squishy, and it's a great go-to. It's very versatile. And I am only using 1 skein for this one. Now, I'm making this for a friend of mine who absolutely loves this color. And even though I'm connecting it, she did ask me to put like some kind of break in here. So I started it with a garter stitch brim or edge. And then when I connect it, I'm going to connect it back on, because how she's going to wear it, this is going to be an accent point. All right. She's going to be using it with like a shawl pin or something like that, or a brooch. That's what it is. So the reason why I call this 2-step, number one, it's literally 2 steps, 2 rows. But when you stretch this out a little bit, you can see in between these, there's 2 little steps in here from the two pieces of yarn when we go over those 2 pegs. So look how beautiful that is. And it's so soft and so squishy. You're going to love this. And like I said, you can totally use this for a hat. You can easily make this on the 60 peg. You can use it on, I want to say, a 72. Let me pull out my calculator. I want to say that 72. I could be wrong. Is divisible by 3. It is. You can use it on 72. And you would have to go a little bit bigger on a loom. Probably use the multi-loom and get something a little bit bigger for a larger hat. But let's jump right into this because it is really that simple. Here's the inside of it. Okay, super squishy. Love it. All right, so I have row 1 already done, and that's where, so my edge pegs obviously aren't on here, but my peg 1 is wrapped 3 times, and then I knit 2 together coming back, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about there. So we're going to jump right into going into row 2. So I've already did my edge peg, and I already knitted this one here, and I'm going to knit this second one. And as you can see, I always mark off my looms for you guys. Don't ask me what I was thinking when I started before. I think I had miscounted when I went over, and then when I was casting on, and then I was just like, I'm just going to throw 3 more on, so I had the right amount. That's what I did. So I have it marked with an E. That's my edge peg on each side. So on 1 and 20, it's marked with an E for my edge peg. Then I have 3, and then a line going past these 2. 3 with a line through these 2. 3 line, 3 line, all the way over. Okay. So this one, I just knit off this one with the line and this one with the line, and now this one has 3 strands on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unwrap those 3 strands, and it's just like a drop stitch. So you have that nice big loop there. Now I'm going to take that loop. You can do it with your finger. You don't have to do it with your hook because it's going to be super loose. Take that loop and just drop it over these 2 pegs. So now you have 1 and 2. You have 2 strands on these. Now don't do anything with these left. Just leave them there. Let them get happy for a little bit. Now this one that's naked that we just unwrapped, what we're going to do is we're going to E-wrap that once, and we're going to come around, and then we're going to U-knit this one with the line, U-knit, and now we have another one that's wrapped 3 times. We're going to unwrap that. Use your fingers. Carry it over, and you don't have to pull it really tight because it's nice and loose. E-wrap, U-wrap, knit it off, knit it off. Sorry, Riley's playing with his squeaky in the background. Unwrap these 3. Carry it over those 2. E-wrap, and then U-wrap. Unwrap these 3. Carry over. E-wrap, U-wrap. Unwrap. A lot of wrapping. It's like Christmas time. E-wrap. U-knit. And then the last unwrap over. Then you're going to E-wrap, come around, do your edge peg. This is if you're working flat. Then you're going to go right back into row 1. So what I do is I always grab this yarn here, and then I wrap 1, 2, 3, and then I knit it off and push it down. Okay, so your pegs are going to look like this. Now I always do this first one to secure it, but on the ones that have the lines going through it, you're going to have 2 strands, and on the ones that have 3, you only have 1 right now. So as you can see, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, so back to the first one. I've already E-wrapped that one 3 times, so now I have 3 strands on there. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to bring my working yarn in front, and I'm going to knit those 2 together. Knit those 2 together. E-wrap 1. I always like to grab my working yarn first, so 1 and push it down. 2, 3. knit 2 together, knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, knit it off, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, and here's my edge peg. So I'm just going to wrap that, come around, and E-wrap, or excuse me, you knit this very first one just to secure it, and then you just going to repeat. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to knit those two. We're going to unwind that one, bring it back, cover it. Knit, knit, unwrap, bring it back, cover it. And you just repeat that until you get the full desired length that you want. Now for me, because I'm doing a cowl, I'm just going to use the rest of this skein. And it's only 109 yards. This is a nice bulky weight, so it's nice and cozy and squishy. But this works up super, super quick. Once you get that rhythm going where you're just speeding back and forth, next thing you know, you're going to be done. This whole length only took me like 3.5 hours. That's it. All right, so this is something that you can work up really quick. And again, you can do a hat with this. You can use this stitch for anything as long as it's in multiples of 3. All right, gang. So thank you again all so very much for continuing your patronage with me. I can't express how much that means to me. I'm kind of making it where my patterns are just exclusive to my patrons now. I'll probably throw some free ones out there, but I really want to focus on the dynamic of my patrons because you guys are the heart and soul of what I do here. So thank you all so very much. Love you bunches. Happy looming, gang.